What is up, everybody? This is too early for me. Too early. What is up, everybody? It is early for me on August 13th. I'm Eric, for those who don't know, or Frank House, for those who know me as friends. It's time for some Corpse Talk Live. Look, I'm doing this early because I have to pick somebody up at the airport later this afternoon. And I figured if I didn't do it today, I can't do it tomorrow because I work. So, here we are. Early Corpse Talk. It's a little too bright here. Let's turn that down. All right, it feels a little more nighttime-ish. Besides this weird fish and bunnies, man. Hey, you guys finally get to meet in person in October. What's going on in October? Where are you guys going to be? I see a member, another member. Thanks for joining up, everybody, those who have. So, we have some fun stuff to go over today. Look, I looked through news today. I didn't see shit. I didn't see anything in news that made me really excited. As a matter of fact, right now in news, there is, with Aliens out right now, Alien Earth, which I watched both episodes, very enjoyable, very pretty, but I'm not a big fan of the story arc so far. We'll see. It has room to grow. I guess Castles and Crusade and Troika get some stuff. This is the Coast. Of course, we're going to do Baldur's Gate 4. How are you going to do without Larian Studios? You know what I mean? So, it's a little weird. There's just not a lot out that I'm excited for news-wise this week. There's no really new... I don't think there's anything new. I know there's not. There's nothing new that I'm interested in. But we are going to be going over Draw Steel today. Brand new TTRPG from Matt Goville and his team at MCDM. And there's only one news article that I think is relevant to what we're about to do. So let's pull that up real quick here. So Draw Steel sets new standards for alt text in their books. I have no idea what this is. A deep dive into what art description is, how it works, and who it's for, including an interview with the text writer, Jen, is it Kretschmeyer? It's the only piece of news I want to look at since we're doing Draw Steel today. This is it. It seems logical to me that this would be the one that we do, right? It was the only way to line it up. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. 6 months is a long time. 6 months means I'd probably miss it. So, Draw Steel, the new RPG for MCDM, is officially released Tuesday, July 31st at Gen Con. Amid the flurry of social media posts and announcement, they released a brand new art description guide, which lays out their standards for alt text and image description in the game. James, I can't remember how you pronounce his last name, Interosco, I think. The design lead on Draw Steel stated on Blue Sky that this is written in collaboration with Jen, Catriel Page, and Marley. The guide says that it was written to ensure that the low vision and blind communities could enjoy the artwork within the books to the fullest extent. So the artists who worked on these pieces don't feel as if their work is inaccessible. I don't know what they mean by that. I've never seen that before for a TTRPG book. But, needless to say, the art in this is gorgeous. So it's a guide, it's a current piece of work, describes how to make a visual images accessible, but also how to write in a way that is considerate and inclusive. There are references to scholarship on discussing skin tone, body type, and even how to accurately depict different species without drawing from real-world negative stereotypes. The entire document is a creative way to speak fantasy without injecting real-world culture and bigotry into description, keeping the tone as neutral and as informative as possible. We will see how this pans out. I'm really excited about the art, but trying to make stuff that doesn't relate to a parallel in the real world so that people can easily correlate, that is a mountain of a task. It really is. Art description will start and on a page. They will be connected to a larger living glossary of text and Draw Steel team. Keeps a handy reference. This means that when art description includes specific species or weapons, such as, what is that? Bread beetle or plume? Yeah, plume. Glass will be able to go into detail about what those things are. So they treat it like a video game company. And that's where a lot of them come from. Art is gorgeous for the book, and we're going to get into that. I'm not going to read this whole article, but I wanted to at least make light of it as we are going through and looking through this book. If any of this makes any sense to us as we're going through or doesn't, this might be one of the reasons. So it's a longer article. I'll put this over in the chat here. You guys can take a look at it on your own time. I think it's cool. I think the art's great. It's just, we'll see how this turns out. Now, with that said, let me give a little background on Draw Steel before I dive into it. I was a fan of his work and have been a fan of his work for some time. I feel that Matt Colville is the grognard that could be. He learned how to not be what everyone would expect somebody of his generation to be when we're talking about TTRPGs and gating people out and stuff like that. And I do agree with that stuff. I always want to accept new people into the hobby. I've always been that way. Even so, when I go to Gen Con, I bring a new person with me any year that we can, so they can experience Gen Con for the first time. And under the wing of a bunch of people who have been there a ton of times, that can really help you find what you want to do there. Okay? So, when he started doing videos after leaving Turtle Rock, making one of my favorite games, Evolve, and he said he's going to start doing tabletop RPGs again, because he started doing tabletop RPGs back in the day, left the video games and wanted to do this again. I was really excited. I like this content. I love his YouTube channel, but we didn't know if he was going to be making more. It's the word I'm looking for. We didn't know if he was going to be making more tabletop games at that point. Fast forward to a couple of years ago, they have a banging Kickstarter, and they decide to make Draw Steel. During Draw Steel, I wasn't a big fan of the playtest. Matt loves 4th edition, and it's obvious that he loves 4th edition. I do not like 4th edition. There are parts of it I think that every designer looked to as a really smart design. But you have to remember when 4th edition came out, we were in the height of 3.5. We already went from 3.0 to 3.5 in a really short time frame because D&D wasn't happy with it. And then 3.5 went to 4th edition, and Paizo fell in that slot because 4th edition, and they said this is part of the marketing, no matter what you find now. I was sitting at the Gen Con, and I was sitting at Gen Con when they announced it and said that they were making it for the video game audience. Then I went to the licensing meetings, and how much they wanted to license it was just fucking absurd. Absolutely absurd. So absurd, in fact, that I just didn't want to do it. And I owned a video game company at the time with 2 partners, and we were going to make Afontia into a video game with Sunder Studios. But we were going to use 4th edition because we're like, you know what? It's great for video games. They're not wrong. It's perfect. Let's just do it. Let's just make it for 4th edition. We designed around it and got the license. We're like, oh God, we can't do this. This is so bad. And then Pathfinder, in the wake of 4th edition, literally destroying D&D in that generation, in that time frame, and that cycle of ideation, Paizo comes in and takes it. They make 3.75 or Pathfinder for the 1st edition, as we all know. It's what many of us played for years. We all really enjoyed it. And 4th edition just brought some cool things to the table, but overall, it wasn't for everybody. They had a great monster book. Rituals came from there. Ritual magic that you see in 5th edition. The idea of a skill challenge, the 3 before 2 failures, that comes from that. At will became cantrips in editions later on. But overall, not great. So, going into Drawsteel, I'm going to do my best to separate my 4th edition dislike from looking at this, but it's going to be difficult for me. It is the edition of a game, maybe even more than a video game, that has left a horrible, horrible, horrible taste in my mouth. I'm putting that out and up front for anyone who watches this later and goes, why didn't you like this game? That's going to be why. You know who you are. You know. But I will say, the art for this is fucking gorgeous. So with that, everybody, on August 13th, we're going to do our scroll through of Drawsteel. If I have enough time before I have to go pick up the person at the airport, I will do my recorded recap. Otherwise, I will do it when I get back off air. I can't believe we're doing this, to be honest with you. I'm going to switch. I'm going to switch to Sterling PDF Reader really quick. I don't remember the top being this big, so I'm fixing something. I guess it is just always this big. Weird. Huh. Oh, well. I'm not going to be... I'm going to try not to be spicy. I'm going to try serving hands to not be spicy about this. I'm going to try to be calm. And not blow up about the ridiculousness of 4th edition. No promises, though. No fucking promises, okay? What's up, Scott? How you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while, man. Hope you're doing well. We're going to be going over Drawsteel. We'll see. Nick is really into this. Cree, who's here all the time. So, we're going to see if I agree with him. With that, Bats, take me to 4th edition. I mean, Drawsteel. See, I already fucked it up. All right, let's talk about this art. This is book 1. It's 2 books. We're only going through 1. The second book is their monsters, right? Audience, how's the music? Is it too loud for anybody? Are we okay? Are we okay? We'll put something a little calmer on here. It should be pretty quiet for y'all. It should be audible, but not insane. So draw steel. I'm gonna zoom out here, so you can see the full art. This art is stupendous. I mean, literally amazing. Like, this is a full combat scene. Book 1, I love iconography. They seem to be a big fan of it. They're crediting everybody. Let's get our highlighter ready. And we go blue for, let's go pink. We're gonna go pink for this. There we go. Still wish that didn't have to be up for me to highlight. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I hate that this has to be up. I love using it, but this staying here is annoying to me. So we're gonna put this on page width, and we're gonna go through. Everybody is in here. They include everybody. MCDM Productions. I don't know what the difference is between this and this. I think this is the tight-knit small group. They credit all their playtesters. This is cool. All their playtesters. I don't know if I'm in this. That might be. Oh, yeah, these guys. Gameplay diagrams use art from Chespeku. I always fuck it up. Chespeku? Ziimpeku. Ziimpeku? I need to find out how to say that. I love their stuff. So, I really like working with MCDM, but I want to work on original role-playing games someday. I said. I've just been offered a job writing and developing books for the RPG industry, best third-party publishers. I still have been honored, but my heart had always been in creating games from scratch, not just expanding someone else's game. Me too, Matt said. I've got lots of things I want to make. That sealed the deal for me, and that's why I took the job at MCDM's lead game design. So who's this from? James? Awesome. Pretty cool. The song seems really loud to me. James is good stuff. Any interview I've watched. Yeah, this song is loud. I always like him when he's in his interview and notes things. So we got our whole area with all of our... Wait. We have to find out. No hyperlinks. No hyperlinks. Negative point out of the gate. Come on. Come on. Really? All right, well, I already don't like that. Some cool ancestries in here. No hyperlinks, none. They got Devil, Dragon Knight. They got Time Raider. Some cool pieces in here. Totally different classes. A Censor, a Conduit, an Elementalist, a Fury, a Null, a Shadow, a Tactician, a Talent, and a Troubadour. You had one job. You had one job. One, and you fucked it. You fucked it all up. Seriously, though. Why would you not? Why would you not do this? Maybe a later version will have it. I don't know. Maybe. Great art again. I can see that they're making them very distinctive and separated, the way they're coloring them. Look at this gigantic 40K angel. $40K. Love this bold kind of separation. I like this font a lot, actually. So, I am going to read this, because this is where I immediately started worrying about some stuff, okay? Let's skip this song. The song seems like it's very loud to me. You can balance this, white bat. That one song's real loud, buddy. So, this is a game about fighting monsters, about larger-than-life extraordinary heroes plunging into battle against terrifying, monstrous enemies. It covers a lot. So let's get specific and talk about what the game is and what it is not. I appreciate this. I think that's great that they're adding that. The game will absolutely feature dungeons, ancient underground complexes filled with ravenous undead or creeping oozes. But it isn't a dungeon crawler. It's not about clearing rooms. It's not about survival horror game where you must track light and food and weight of every object you carry. You can fight monsters in a dungeon, but the game is not about dungeons. Lots of games focus on gameplay and do it really well, like Shadow Dark. It's not a wilderness exploration game, aka hex crawl. It's not about surviving in extreme weather, getting lost, or trying to navigate your way back to safety. You can fight monsters in the wilderness, even a whole campaign in the wilderness. But this game is not about the wilderness. We love games that focus on that fantasy, like Forbidden Lands. You can run adventures with horror themes, but this is not a horror role-playing game like Call of Cthulhu. Your sessions can and will feature comedy, but this isn't a comedy RPG like Paranoia. Draw Steel is definitely a game about creating amazing stories in which heroes fight monsters and villains using strategy and tactics. All right, Draw Steel has a lot of other tools, but fighting monsters is sort of a non-negotiable. If you're looking for a game featuring extraordinary heroes overcoming dramatic villains without the focus on tactical combat, maybe check out Daggerheart. Just right next door in the alphabet-wise. Funny, Draw Steel, Daggerheart, great. We generally love all these games, but we love them because they focus on the specific genres of gameplay and deliver them really well. And our game is heroic fantasy. That is its genre, extraordinary people fighting dragons and necromancers. But heroic fantasy is still a little too broad for our purposes. So we had two other keywords to explain how our game might be different from the other genre, tactical and cinematic. So, terms are just guidelines, a vibe, but we find them useful trying to choose between different features. Both these ideas are cool, but which is the most cinematic, the most heroic? So let's talk about what we mean when we use these terms. So we already know now, and this game expects you to fight monsters, that it is a tactical game, which right now in my current mode of gameplay, what I'm enjoying, I already know I don't know if I'm going to want this. But they're honest about it. I can appreciate all of this. The fact that they said that is great. That makes me know if I'm ever in a tactical mood, this might be the game I want. I love this. This is great. They're picking their lane. So, tactical. Strategy is what are we trying to do? Break a siege, free a prisoner, rescue a captive, steal a tome from an ancient lore. Strategy is about long-term goals. Okay, I agree with that. Tactical is about how are we going to do that? We're going to do surround them, sneak around them, pick them off one by one, kill their leader first, kill their priest first, no resurrections. A tactical game positioning matters, so our game is played on a grid. I knew this was a grid game. Effects and distances are measured in squares. This means that all players are focused on the same problem, and there's no ambiguity regarding where the heroes and villains in relation to one another. The Hobgoblin troopers are setting themselves up in a line to stop our tactician and Fury from getting into melee with the Hobgoblin War Mage. We're all aware of what is happening, and we can talk about what we're going to do to stop it. So this is already reading like a tactical game, like the beginning of 3.0, 3.5, miniature wargaming, that kind of stuff. I guess someone had to make another one, right? Somebody had to make another tactical war game. I don't even mind rulers serving hands. I know you're joking, but like I like rulers even in my TTRPGs. A little stick for them to sit down. I mean, hey, look, if you're Adam Savage, you just get that bitch tattooed here, put your arm down, measure your distance. I've thought about doing that. He has those like temporary tattoos you can put on the rulers. So this means teamwork matters and why the order of combat works the way it does to encourage players to plan. Okay, use concussive slam on a trooper. It'll push him back. And on my turn, I can use squad 4 to get us all, or squad 4 to get us all in the melee with the death captain. Sure, we think focusing on teamwork makes the game more heroic. I don't mind this. In a tactical game, you have many choices. In a combat round, they're never reduced to just swinging your sword. You have options if we do a good job. You don't feel as if you're outlasted your opponent because you wore their stamina down before they can reduce you to 0 hit points. You feel like you beat those hobgoblins, okay? Through stealth, sorcery, coordination, and ferocity. As you play in the same group of characters, you learn what they can all do, discover synergies, combos, and some of them intended by the designers, some not. You start to learn the unique characters and to rely on them to do their cool things. It's a great feeling when another player comes up with a cool plan that relies on unique ability. I agree with that. I think this is a really good statement. I think every player can agree with this entire paragraph. Like all of this. Everyone can agree with this. You learn which characters are the squishiest, who you need to protect and heal. You learn what characters do to push themselves right to the edge. Keep fighting. Don't worry about healing. Is it Baraka? Oh, Barlaka. She's our Fury. She's happier with 3 stamina. Our game is not about tactics. It's not a war game, but it's tactical. This is going to be a hard one to prove to me. I'm not saying it's not feasible. I'm saying I don't know how you're going to do this. How do you prove this piece here? You know what I mean? Like, I think this game sounds tactical. Why is it not highlighted? There we go. So we know a little bit. I love that it's heroic. I love this fantasy. I'm not going to read that. I love that it's cinematic. I'm curious how this is going to be cinematic. When there's too many tactics, I feel like painting the cinematic picture becomes difficult. You know what I mean? Like, how do you paint a cinematic picture if the entire idea of cinematic is storytelling when you're worried about the tactics the whole time? So hopefully the game is quick and easy. Fantasy. If you're coming from D20 fantasy, okay, so this is important. We know what fantasy is too. I'm not going to read these off. I do think it's awesome that they put this stuff. That was my dog making noise. What the fuck is that? Measuring lines in your hands and arms? Dude, if you want to try it out, hold on here. Here. If you want to do it, Adam Savage has the temporary tattoo. There's the temp ruler tat. See? That's your units of measurement. And he has a real one, and that's a temporary. And you can try it, see if you like it. Right? In case you've never seen that. So, if you're coming from D20 fantasy, you know, many folks are coming to the game having only experienced D20 fantasy RPGs, you know, D&D, Pathfinder, and so on. This section details a few key distinctions between this game and the typical D20 fantasy. And you'll notice right away, there aren't only distinctions, but they're the most obvious. Character options are different. So we strongly recommend you start exploring Draw Steel by looking through your character creations before you decide what you want to play. You can't just assume the Conduit is basically a cleric. In some ways it is, but in other ways it's quite different. You might have some cool character archetypes you love to play in D20 Fantasy, and you're dying to see how that might work in Draw Steel, but you'll have a lot more fun if you start by browsing the Ancestors and Classes section and getting inspired. Once you know a bit more about how the game works, you'll have a better handle on how you build your favorite character in Draw Steel. Okay. Yeah, everyone says he is just around. that he's everywhere all the time. That's very true. He is a legend. Easily one of my favorites. Easily one of my favorite people. I've only met him once so far at a convention. Smaller bonuses and penalties. Draw steals built around the roll of 2 10-sided dice to produce 3 possible outcomes. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. On the surface, this might not seem that different than rolling a 20-sided die and having 2 outcomes, successes or failure, but we've run the math, and a lot of bonuses of +1 penalty or -2 is significant in draw steal. It's much more so than a typical D20. I already have an idea where this is going. This means you should feel pretty good about attempting most power rolls. The rolls you make to determine the success in both of our into combat and out of combat. If you have a decent characteristic bonus to add to those rolls, and you have a specific skill that applies to a power roll you made as a test outside of combat, you'll do even better. Got a little bit of a map. I love this though. This is probably my favorite part. So I am a big fan of the new design philosophy of one roll to hit and do damage. I think it's why I'm enjoying Mythic Bastionlands as much as I am. Instead of rolling and having a possible failure, you're rolling to achieve a success to hit and damage at the same time. And from the playtest in this game, and I guess they've changed it up a lot, because it didn't used to be 2d10, I really like the fact that you're rolling to hit and do damage all at once. So much so that it's the only reason right now that I'm really interested in looking at this system. I want more systems to make your action, not even your action, make the things you want to do feel successful. Does that make sense? I don't want to do something and have it fail. I want to do something and have a good chance it succeeds and have damage built into it. So, I know that's what they're doing with this. So, abilities automatically deal damage. When you use an ability, one of the unique combat features that defines your character, you can still have a bad turn. A tier 1 outcome with minimal damage and effects, and the worst outcome you can obtain with an ability. It's not awesome, but you're always making progress, so fail forward. What's up, Kyle? I like that. I like fail forward. It's also why I like Blades in the Dark. But you're still always making progress. The question is, who's making progress faster? You or the monsters? Since there's a no I miss who's next in this game, fights typically last 3 or fewer rounds. Oh, wow. That is a bold statement. To say something only lasts 3 or fewer rounds. This is a very bold statement. A fight that lasts 5 rounds is a long fight because everyone's always doing damage. You don't need to rest all the time. In most modern D20 fantasy games, it's true, in most D20 fantasy games of attrition, your spell slots and other features dwindle down as adventure day goes on. In Draw Steel, you need to rest to regain your stamina and recoveries. The stats that determine how robust you are in combat, but all characters earn the capability to use their magic and otherwise other awesome abilities as they adventure, encouraging you to press on heroically. So less downtime. Our game has lots of skills. All right. You can make use of a long list of skills, but we don't expect you to memorize the list. We get into why the test chapter features so many skills. But the short version is that we think having a lot of skills allows you to create a more distinct and specialized heroes. I agree with that, but I feel like when you have too many skills, you run into your characters not being able to do stuff, and that feels really bad too. I'm not saying every character should be able to do everything. I think every character should be able to attempt something. Like, look, if I decide I want to forge a knife, I can do it. I can try to do it. If I want to do super artistic nails for somebody, I have a pretty good chance. I'm an artist. If I want to wire my house, I could do it, but I don't have as much skill in that. So I worry when there's skills that you can't try things. Hopefully, you can still try things without skills. I'm guessing so. We don't know that yet, but the mini skills concerns me. It really does. Let's see here. And skills in the game aren't tied to characteristics. If you're trying to lose someone in a crowd, you can use presence, a characteristic that represents your character's force of personality to try to hide. Why not? So you can fall back to a stat. We won't be able to point out every difference beyond what's noted, but don't assume that these rules work like any other D20 fantasy game you've played. We don't have the space to point out every exception. So if you're in doubt on how something works, put D20 fantasy out of your mind, read our rules without those assumptions, and you'll find that it makes things better. Things will make better sense. If you're still confused, stop by MCDM Discord and ask. Got tons of awesome community members ready to help. Okay. We don't expect you to do everything to the letter. There's actually one thing Draw Steel does have in common with D20 Fantasy. This is a big book of rules. Don't stress yourself out. If you need to look at something up, make ruling about an edge case on the fly, everyone's having fun. You're doing it right. All right, great. They have their glossary, all their things. This is... Are these hyperlinked? Hold on here. So these are hyperlinked. They do have hyperlinks. They just don't have chapter hyperlinks. Very weird choice. I do love that this is up front, though. I'll tell you that. This being up front is great. That's really cool. It has big. Oh, man, this is so... Anyway. I like this screen. Art in this is gorgeous. So they give you a sample of play. They're doing the call-out box, the little cat boxes like I do, which I love. All right, so let's sit down. I think we're getting into the nitty-gritty here, guys. We're getting into the nitty-gritty. All right. All right. All right. Let's see what we got here. This is a little high. There we go. Characteristics: might, agility, reason, intuition. That's what we got here. And presence. Man, this music is so loud, dude. He just made a banger, I guess. This is early. I appreciate the Dartmouth. But you know what? I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree. I think it's great. Nope. It's got an update for the flight I gotta do. Pick up. Let me look here. We had a lot of delays. That's why I'm double check. All right. Okay. Making sure I'm not fucking anything up. All right. So they're doing some ability abbreviations: an M, an A, an R, an I, and a P. Marip. So might is brawn. Agility is nimbleness and coordination. Reason is a logical mind. Intuition is recognizing faint sounds of a distant rider. Quickly read, tell a bluffing gambler. And presence is force of personality. So they went back to the not your attractiveness, physical attractiveness is not included. So the dice The dices. The dice. A director is the name of the GM. Which I like that. Is someone who likes to tell, like, movies. Some 10-sided dice are numbered 0 to 9. Others are numbered 1 to 10. In all cases of the former, 0 counts as 10. That's true. The game also occasionally uses 6-sided dice called D6s, so it's helpful if the player have 1 or 2 of those as well. D3s. On rare occasions, the rules ask player to roll 1 or more 3-sided dice called D3s. If you don't have a D3, you roll 6-sided dice. 1 to 2 is 1, 3 to 4 is 2, 5 to 6 is 3. Okay, great. D100 tables, so you got percentile tables. Power rolls. Whenever a hero or creature in the game attempts a task with an uncertain outcome, such as an attack, attacking a foe, sneaking by a guard, so you're going to be making power rolls. There's ability, test a power roll. Okay, they're not telling me how it works yet. Here we go. Sapient creatures. All sapient creatures in the game, capable of sensing. So you got a nice little call box. So it's 2d10. Let me just grab 2. So I can look at this in like real time. D10 and D10. Oh, it's percentile. I don't want a percentile die. I want just a regular old D10. Hold on here. We're digging. We're digging through our dice pools. All right. I have 2d10. Really? So you roll them and add them together. So that's a 15. And that means I'm in tier 2. So it's 11, 16, 17. Right? Because, I mean, you know, I'm saying 16. I know they put this here to explain it, but I don't need to do that for myself. So how do these break down? This is the worst outcome power roll can have. If you're using an ability, a tier 1 outcome means that you still do something, but the impact is minimal. So it is like, this already kind of sounds like Blades. For a test, the tier 1 outcome might mean you fail what you're doing, or you might incur a negative consequence. Your 12 to 16 is tier 2. This is the average outcome of many power rolls, especially when heroes who are at first level. When using an ability, a tier 2 outcome means that you do it as a moderate impact. With outcome, a strike ability deals a decent amount of damage, an effect that briefly helps allies or hinders enemies. Okay, great. And then 7 is your power roll 17 or higher, tier 3, the best outcome possible. Okay. Downgrade a power roll. Whenever you make a power roll, you can downgrade it to select an outcome of a lower tier. For instance, ability has a tier 3 outcome that lets you impose a restrain condition on a creature, but the tier 2 outcome lets you impose a slow condition. You can use a tier 2 outcome if you would rather do that. So it allows you to step down your stuff. All right. I mean, this is cool. I know that in Pathfinder, we had to hunt this down, and that was difficult. Like, that was difficult to find. Like, this was a hard thing to find. So cool. Natural roll. Total power roll before your characteristic and any of those is a natural. So before you add anything. If you get a 20 on a power roll before adding your characteristic, this is called a natural 20. Gotcha. So you're getting only natural 20s when you roll 2 10s. Okay. Edges and banes. An archer standing at castle wall fires down. So what's an edge? What's an edge? Edge represents a situational advantage of the hero. You get a +2 bonus. An edge, that's all it is. You get a +2 bonus. If you make a power roll with 2 or more edges, you have double edge. With double edge, you don't add anything to the power roll, but the outcome of the roll automatically improves 1 tier. So a regular edge is +2. A double edge is a tier increase. So instead of getting tier 1, you would be tier 2. All right. Same with Bane. -2. Double Bane. Drop a tier. Okay. Rolling with edges and banes. When to use edges and banes. Why a cap? because you don't want it to be, you don't want them to always fail. There has to be a cap. I don't even want, I mean, I guess I have to put that for people, but. So you don't really use other bonuses. Rare. You usually just use edge. Automatic tier outcomes. Effects in the game sometimes allow characters to obtain automatic tier 1 through 3. That's kind of cool. Great. Like auto buys, auto buy-in. Like Vampires had that. Cypher System has that. Pathfinder 2 has that with their upgrade successes or make a failure a success, that kind of thing. Hero tokens. Hero tokens are group resource tracking a player. Kept in a pool accessible to all characters. Ugh, too early. Hero tokens can be tracked. So what do you use them for? You earn them by doing cool stuff, I assume. Yep. Spending hero tokens. Here we go. Spend a hero token to gain 2 surges, allowing you to increase damage or potency. You can spend a hero token when you fail a save. Spend a hero token to reroll a test. Spend 2 hero tokens on your turn when you take damage to regain stamina equal to recovery before taking the damage. So, slight healing. Great. Great. Always round down. Unattended objects. Supernatural. This really is just like making every rule. Everything has this rule. Building heroic narrative. I like that they're teaching this. I think this is important to teach. This doesn't always get taught. Victories for combat. It's really clean, really easy to read. So far, this feels like a normal game. Art is gorgeous. I will 100% give them that. Can already feel the 4th edition parallels. So echelons of play. Every game, if I take the 4th edition out, every game has tiers of play. Cypher calls them tiers. There's 4 tiers, I think, if memory serves, or 5. Shadow the Demon Lord and Weird Wizard also has tiers. And that's like, I think it's like apprentice, something master. We're doing it again here. It's based on levels. They have 4. The 4th edition was the first that I remember defining tiers. Ooh, it's got an old school map vibe. I dig this. I love playing your maps. That's really cool. Very retro. Very retro looking. This is awesome. I love when this stuff's like a piece of art where you got like the monsters in the corners. You got your waist here. I like this. This is great looking. Your cities. Yeah, that's cool. All right. So I'm going to break down your timescapes, cool buildings. This is the house. What the fuck is this? Is there a Spelljammer in this bitch? Oh, you can make your own timescapes. I see. The timescape is your game. So you design your own stuff. All right. Great art again. Really clean. Again, I love this font. It feels heroic. So here's making your character, all right? Here's how this is made. Yeah, the space. I think it's just because you make your own setting and they don't care what the time frame is. You can decide if it's a space game. I appreciate that because sometimes you want to play Spelljammer, sometimes you don't. You know what I mean? So if you're not the director, then you create and play one of the main characters in the game. You're a hero. Okay. Talk about safety tools, discuss campaign world, options. This is, I mean, let's be real. This is how I set up my games. It is. This is like kind of the stuff that I've been doing since I started gaming, right? And not everyone does. New players don't know this stuff, but you know, I have years of doing this. So I'm glad that he's teaching people. Step-by-step hero creation. There we go. Ooh, I kind of want to, hold on here. I kind of want to see the character sheet. Let's go. Oh no, don't do that. God damn it. At least it takes me back to it. Open link a new tab. Montage sheet, large encounter, NPC or hero cards. Oh, this already feels like fucking 4th edition. Fucking hate this. All right. Yep. So nothing too crazy. I love this. This is great. Okay. That is a lot of skills, everybody. It's a lot of skills. Granted, Dragonbane has a lot of skills too. Cool. Oh my god. This is 4th edition. Yeah, so 4th edition, hold on here. Let's look at a 4th edition sheet. Hold on here. They have power cards, right? Pathfinder does have a lot of skills. You're right. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. But does this look familiar to you? Does this look familiar? It does to me. What do you think? And I get it. They have like different degrees of success. They're taking the parts that they like from it. But keyword type, distance, target. It's the breakdown of any spell too. Okay, I'm not being too harsh. Obviously, it's the Shadow Dark spell as well. But you have signature ability, heroic ability, range free strike, signature ability, heroic ability, trigger action, ability, heroic, blanks. All right, we'll see what happens when we get into the characters. So, character creation. First thing you should do is think about what kind of hero you want to play. I love this. Do you want to fight with weapons, magic, psionics, combination of these abilities, outside combat? What did your hero do well? What do you do before becoming a hero? Why did you choose becoming a hero? What's your personality like? I like this. This is something like, this is why I've built things for my games on how to make them character creation better. Ancestry, that's your race for any other game, or ancestry is a very prominent term used now. Culture, where you're from, and backgrounds. Choosing skills, and the game has a lot of skills, lots of opportunities for character creation. I do like how easy the skills are, right? So like if you look at this, there's no bonus. It's just, I'm good at alchemy. I do like this. I like how clean this is. While there's a lot of skills, they're not obtrusive with like +8, +10, that kind of shit. +2, +3, plus whatever. Instead, I'm assuming this just gives you an edge. Right? I'm all right with that. I like that. That's clean. That's why I like it in Dragonbane too, because this is your number. Roll equal or under. I like it. It's good. Career. what you did for a living before you became a hero. Your class, your kit. Like a kit, it helps you define your approach to martial combat. Add free strikes. A free strike is a combat ability used when it's not your turn, representing the simplest and most basic weapon you can use to make an attack. So, attack opportunities. This is their breakdown, right? M or A, these are the stats, remember? Might or agility. And it's +2. So it's 5. Oh, power roll. Melee. So we have agility. Okay, I see. So you're adding 2 plus your stat, and then you're rolling your 2d10, adding them together. So 5, 6, 7, 8. And I hope my bonuses give me at least an 11 or sorry, 12 is what you're looking for. Okay, I get it. Complications, determine skills, make connections, all cool. Great art yet again. I don't think art's going to be a problem in this. Adventuring gear. Director says so. Some games don't track XP. Others do. So then they have a real basic heroic advancement. I don't know. Adjusted XP advancement. I don't use XP for a lot of games. I never have. I'm not opposed. I just don't feel that they're always needed. Sometimes I feel like it's better just to let people level. You know what I'm saying? Like the GM's like, okay, this is a good point in the story. Let's level. But I can see this being done. How you hand them out. I think this is the cover of their castles and their kingdom book. Some stained glass. I enjoy this. A human, a devil, a polder, a time raider, an orc, a woad elf, a high elf, a dragon knight, Memonek, dwarf, a Hakan, and a reverend. Cool. All your ancestries. So let's, I just want to know what that one was. Did they have a devil? Really? They sure did. Tiefling, yeah, okay, cool. But it's devil in this, which I like. They're just saying, yo, you're a devil, just deal with it. So we have what else? But I want to know what, does it tell you all of them? Oh, it doesn't. All right, well, then we scroll in. On the origin of species, they talk about it. This is the saving the grace, last names and by names, names and gender, authentic or comedic. I hate comedic names in most games, to be honest with you. I think they ruin the game a lot of times, personally. Unless that's the game you're running. So they have examples of all of them. That's wild names. They have their measurements, ancestry traits, more great fucking art. More great fucking art. This almost looks computer generated. I know it's not, but it almost does. This guy's got some weird eyes. What does this mean? Does that mean story? I don't remember this being like this here. That's got to mean story, right? Did they say something up here? I'm just curious. They don't. Huh. Okay. So we got a devil. What do we want to look at for what we like? Oh, okay. So you got point buy. You get 3 ancestry points. You buy your things. That's what your devil is. Great. Wings for 2 points. And Hell Sight for 1. All right. Dragon Knight. Why are they called knights? The Herald of the Dragoness, but like, and generation, like, I guess I don't understand. Dragon Knights, also known as Draconians, are Worm Whites. Okay, just a weird choice. I would have went with a different color than red. Looks a little too demony. Great shield, though. Look at that. This is the worst piece so far, though, to me. It needs to be some more separation here. This is hard to see the separation. But it's not my favorite piece. Still great, but not my favorite piece. Then you get to pick your pride and your abilities. I like this. Look at the dwarf. I like their skin tones. They're almost like rockish. Look at that. That's really cool. Almost like an oil sheen to them. Huh. Yeah, they're infused with stone. And silico organic hybrids, making them physically denser than humanoids. I like that. Little story for each one. What are your traits? Great fortitude, grounded, spark off your skin. That's cool. Spark off your skin. Your stone skin affords you potential protection. You have a +6 bonus to stamina. And that bonus is at 6 by 4, 7, and 10. That's cool. I know, no beards. They made their own, they made their totally own dwarves. No beards, look at that. Oh, he's got a little one. Okay, Nick. I'm not too inspired with this. It is too 4th edition for me, my friend. So far. I liked how simple this... I like how... It's simple complexity, though, so far. Which I'm impressed by that. Woads. Weird-looking motherfuckers. More abilities. I can see them really putting out ability packs, too. High elves. I'm just scrolling through these. What are these? They're considered a harbinger. Khan. Huh. Doom Sight. Weird kid. Okay, that's cool. Big. They're 11. Size is 1L. 1L. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, they're giants, right. Doom Sight. All is feathered Doom Sight. That's cool. Humies. The bird looks amazing. Feet are a little oddly placed, but the art's still good. Humans get that. Great. Great look again. What are these fuckers? Axiom. Plane of the utmost other law. Okay. Cool. Cool art. Some little sci-fi. Very sci-fi. So far, I agree with that. But the footprint of 4th edition is so heavy, I have a hard time. I am scarred by 4th edition. Yeah, the machines. Little like sci-fi mix in this for sure. They get some cool traits. Keeper of order. Lightning, nimbleness, nonstop. All right, cool. Play that instrument. Hello, Cleons. How you doing, Tiger Stripe Cleons? And how are you hitting this anvil? How are you hitting this? That is so fucking low. This, you would have to be crouching. Is it a travel? A travel anvil? Bloodfire Rush, Glowing Recovery, Grounded, Nonstop, Passion Artisan. Okay, cool. Halflings. Count Ashes, yeah, sure. So these are halflings. Just say it. Polders are halflings. Not humans who live in humans and share the gods and culture. Almost every human culture. Gotcha. It's travel size. Still heavy as shit. So they get a special ability. Like this here. This here. This is screams forth. Revenants. Cool looking. I don't hate it. What's their abilities? Former life. Tough but withered. Bloodless. previous life. That's kind of cool. Multiple times, selecting a different point trait. Cool. Previous life, 2 points. Undead influence. So you kind of like shape it. All right, nice. So this is their sci-fi. These are his Gith, essentially. Forearm Gith. Time Raiders. Really brought some of that like pulp fantasy into it. It's not going in my luggage. No, that is definitely not. That anvil is not fitting in your luggage. It is very distasteful. Yeah, it does not. I don't like it. I ran it for years. I mean, I gave it a really fair shake. But like I said earlier before you were here, there are a ton of really cool design things that have come out of 4th edition. But the fact that he is such an advocate of 4th edition and then making a game and talking about it being 4th edition, like, everyone likes their own thing, but man, that is a bold fucking claim to make. Because overall, 4th edition was disliked. There are good things that came from it. But so far, he's not picking the things for me that I liked from 4th edition. Personally. More stained glass. Cool. Least favorite art. I mean, I know what they're going for, but there's just something odd about their stained glass. I don't know. It's okay. I love stained glass, though. It's just hard to draw. So you got your culture, your language, your environment, your organization, where it comes from. Archetypical cultures. So you could build a culture. You build them out. Looks like you're picking them. You get a skill from them. Then you do your... So this is kind of cool. So they're taking you through it. So they're like, you get a language. What's your environment? What was the environment like? Organization. What was the kind of organizations that you dealt with, right? Upbringing. What type of upbringing did you have? So they're kind of giving you the baby steps of like growing up. Languages in Orden. I don't know. I'm not through it yet, Nick. So I'm not going to say that yet. We're going to see if they show up. So far, they have not shown up. At all. I can promise you it wasn't the fucking cards. And it isn't the at-will powers. And the once per encounter power. And the daily powers. I fucking hate that. Felt like a video game. And then they tried to say it wasn't a video game. But I know I can feel him already trying to emulate the experience of Baldur's Gate, the video game. I can feel it in the way some of this is being put together. I love this stuff, though. Like this career question shit. Like, instead of them going, here's your careers, they're like, no, Dick. Pick your career benefits. Pick what it is. Pick the inciting incident. What was taken from you. Like, I like this. This is great. And careers A to Z. It's a different solution here. It's not, though. It really isn't. Not so far. From how I understand how the rules work and the powers, I wait till I get to the powers to like hold hard judgment. But there is some real hard 4th edition underlying themes. Well, that's cool. So you pick them. So you're not building them here. I take that back. They're just telling you what the benefits are. Agent, aristocrat. I love the little tables for the inciting incident, or make your own, obviously. These are like backgrounds from 5e, but cleaner. I will say, way less art than I expected. Like, to be honest, there's way less art in here. I know that they said they made this for people who will read it easier and things like that. What's up, 40K? This is the cover. Part of the cover. Cool monsters, cool creatures. So the classes are really different in this. And I remember them being different during the playtest. Not against it, I just remember them being different. And I'm fine with new classes. I think it's hard to get away from like your fighter, your cleric, your wizard. Like it's hard to move away from that. And it takes a little bit of bravery to kind of move away from them. So, heroic resource cost. Each class has a heroic resource that your hero earns during combat, with some of your class abilities, typically your most potent abilities, having a heroic resource cost to use them. When you use one of these abilities, you spend some of the heroic resource bestowed by your class, then activate this ability. I see this stayed from the playtests. That's one of the things I did not enjoy. At all. Gotta have the keyword abilities. You're gonna have your area, charge, your magic. That's all normal. Gotta have this stuff. I love that he's doing psychic. That makes me happy. Abilities to strike keyword often referred to simply as strikes, deal damage. Strike keyword phrase such as make a strike are reserved for abilities that have creature targeting specifics. I would have found a different word. I wouldn't have used strikes. If the terminology doesn't work, why are you using it? Why are you using it? Pick a different keyword. Abilities in this game that target areas affected are not strikes. They're instead using a different keyword. I don't know. Maybe they had a hard time finding it. All of this is normal. Your cube, your line. We're all familiar with this from other things, other games, right? We all understand this. And we're back to grid life. I'm just so tired of grid as a must. I like grid as we need it for certain combats. And I'm sure they talk about not having to use a grid all the time, but in their opening statement, they say that grids are part of the game. But this is Baldur's Gate. Okay. This is a simulationist game. All right. I love this. I think this is really cool. I like their 3 degrees of success because you always succeed. I really enjoy that. I actually think this is very smart, clean game design. I understand it's for tactical combat, Nick. But they talk about this being a grid-based game. Like, if you're not in for a grid-based game, this is not the game for you. It says that. And we just read the whole beginning out. Oh, crits. I was curious how this is going to work. I was thinking it was doubles, but it looks like it's going to be 19 and 20. Looks like they're keeping the traditional style. Okay. Actions within actions. Spending heroic resources. Stacking unique effects. Did they keep it to where every class generates their special resource differently? Because that's how it worked. I mean, it's similar, but it's not the same. It's not the same at all. They found a way to take 2d10 instead of a d20 because they're about the numbers and making them more average so that you have a better chance of succeeding and stuff. I get why they did it, but it does not teach narrative in the slightest. The only thing that it is doing is giving you, where's it at? Weak, average, strong. But it's all about doing damage so far, or about doing an ability. But this doesn't help with narrative. None of this is narrative important. And he said in the beginning, this is about fighting monsters. This is a great combat sim, is what this is. I just don't want a combat sim. You know what I mean? I don't think we needed another combat sim. I guess it's a better way to say it. Saving throw ends. Effective save ends. Okay, cool. Spending heroic feats. Okay, great. Straight line. Ground and ceiling. This is just so much. This is such a big fucking book, dude. Quick build icons. Okay. Censor. Demons and deathless fear you. Criminals run from sight of shadow. Agents of chaos, blasphemy, and heretics tremble at the sound of your voice. Sensors. Okay, cool. Very bright. We fight until hell is empty. Cool. Oh. I do not like the layout of this book. I'm gonna say it now. It is like reading a fucking textbook. It is, I know they made it so it's easier for everyone to read, but this is fucking boring. This is a very boring visual book. There's actually not that much art in here. And I don't have to have art. I don't have to have it, but this is just repetitious at best. Maybe this is better as in a physical form than it is reading digital, because that can happen. This reads like 4th edition. The layout, I mean. Yeah. I'm going to pick a class that I'm interested in, because right now my desire to look at this book is dipping hard. It is just not enjoyable. This is just, it reminds me of a video game manuscript. Like when I'm doing work in a video game industry, this reminds me of what I would turn in for powers for a video game for RPG. This feels like a video game designed book. And I get it. You have a similar complaint layout. I just don't know how you do it better. You don't make a game this fucking complex, man. That's how. Complexity means things have to be simplified in layout so you can scroll through it faster. I love their little like quick build add-ons and things they do. I think that's great. But this is boring. Like, it just is. Like, back blasphemer, great. Your channel power through your weapon repels foes. Okay. Area, magic, weapon, melee. 2 cube within 1. Each enemy in the area, main action. Power roll plus presence, great. 2 holy, 1 push. 4 holy, push 2. 6 holy, push 3. And it becomes this tactical, it's a video game. It's a video game. It's just something about the cut and dry mechanics of it. It's definitely not for me right now in my current RPG journey. Where I am in running games and what I do. I would rather play the flavor-filled Mythic Bastionlands, who has a very clean resolution system, than this. It is just cut and dry. This is what it does. You do 2 points of damage. Not a fan. I don't think that makes it better. Yeah. Do you know what, Nick? Because it's... you're talking about a VTT. Hold on here. I'm going to fucking rant. And not at you. Not at you for clarity. Yes, because VTTs are the step between a video game and a tabletop. When everything is included and it does all the fucking rolls and does everything for you, it's a video game. You're one step away when it's doing all the math for you. Now, I'm not saying that is a bad experience. I'm just saying that is where it falls. When Foundry does every single role for you and everything is involved, especially if the game is complex and you have to have it do that. Because there's too much for people to look up in a book that is 417 pages and we're on page 83. Now, granted, a lot of these are your abilities. You're not going to have all these. I understand that. You have to catalog the abilities. And they're doing their best to show you things to pick that are easy to be what you need to be. This is 4th edition. It's not new. It's polished. It's very polished. So I'm going to go to a class I'm interested in because it sure as shit isn't this so far. Oh my God, I'm still scrolling. That is too long. I love this He-Man-esque look. This is dope. Gods flow through you. Great. This should have been a different color. These are hard to read. But like, boom, basics. It's like, here you go. Here's the advancement. You get a signet. It's just something about it, man. What is the, do you know, Nick, offhand, what the 3.5, 3.57, 3.57, 3.579 is? Is that the tier of ability you get? What is that? Do you know? I skimmed, so I'm sure I missed it. Hello, Hellraiser Cube. So you choose this for your stat array. Choose one of these. Start with intuition of 2 and can choose one of the following stat arrays for your character scores. I like that. It's quick. It's quick. It's easy. Recoveries, you get 8. He-Man looking motherfucker. Yeah. War. I just want to look at the art. That's all I really want to do. More He-Man. Superhero-y. This game is not going to be for me. The Stain of now, granted, if somebody is willing to run this, I will happily play it to try it out. But my brain just clicked off as soon as I hit the powers. And I'm really trying to give it a fair shake. Even the art is getting a little repetitive. It's like superheroes here. Yeah. I'm looking for a class. This is cool. Is this kind of what their monster stat block looks like? So you got size, speed, stamina, stability, free strike. That's their bonuses. Boulder dash. Tunneler. Harness. Okay. I'm going to say something really strong at the end of this. This is cool looking. It's really cool. Your Rager. They almost got like an underwater vibe to them. If they're wearing a mask. Like Pinhead pulled their face back. Growing ferocity. So, all right. So Fury. Let's look at this one. Let's actually look at this. Fury is cool. We're going to actually take a look at it. So your stat changes, might to weak, average, strong potency. Starting stamina is 21. Stamina gained at second level and after is 9. You get 10 recoveries. I still don't understand what these are. I still don't understand what this is. Aspect abilities and abilities. First level, you get Berserker, You channeling ferocity and physical might, acting like a living version of the forces that shape the world. You have the lift skill. You channel ferocity, instinct, and cunning, challenging the order of civilization. You have the hide skill. Or your storm right, you channel the ferocity of primordial storms. You can take on the form of an animal or an animal hybrid form. You have the track skill. Okay. Also, Nick, am I right to say that the skills just give you edge, correct? Isn't that how that works? Or do they give you a +1? Because when I was looking at the character sheet, you just check them off. So I'm assuming the skill just gives you edge and whatever that is, right? Since most of the classes get a bespoke maneuver, you may find yourself asking, where's the special maneuver for my Fury? The answer is the class doesn't need its own maneuver, because most time, Fantasy Fury has them using grab or knockback. Oh. You get bonuses and edge for skills? It's not just edge? Okay. Because edge is +2. No, edge is +2. Double edge is the tier increase, where you go from the 11 to the 12 to 16, or the 12 to 16 to the 17 plus. That's what double edge does. Single edge is just a +2. So you might get +2, or you might get edge and then double edge, maybe. Does this have double clicks? Hold on here. No, it's just on or off. All right. Combat. Start a combat encounter. Some stressful situation. Start of each turn, you get a D3 ferocity. Just in the first time combat round that would take advantage, you get 1 ferocity. First time you become winded or are dying in an encounter, you gain D3 ferocity. You lose any remaining ferocity at the end of the encounter. Yep, they're doing it's encounter powers. All right. So here's what we're doing, everybody. I'm not reading this on air anymore. I know roughly what we're looking at. I'm not saying I understand the game. But I know right now, in my heart of hearts, this feels like 4th edition. Really clean, polished. And you know what? If this came out when 4th edition did, I may even like it. I gave 4th edition like 3 or 4 years. But this game reads too much like that. This might be the only game in the last 15 years that I can think of. I'll say since 4th edition. Since 4th edition. Where I would have to have somebody else run this and me play it to decide if this is even worth my time. I could run this right now, but you're asking your players to make characters, which actually doesn't look too slow. You would need to learn this page. If you're going to play, was it a Fury? You would need to learn, write this down, this page. You need to learn this, and then you need to pick your aspect. Like what if you're the B shape. And then you would be adding these things in as you go. Great. It is what it is. But for this little bit of information, why in the fuck? Why is it this much goddamn space? For that, look at the amount of negative space on this page. No art. No nothing. I love the icons. The icons are great to teach. And I'm sure some abilities look closer to this, right? Where the effect is bigger than this. But even that has a gap. I am not overall impressed. And even the art, the more and more I get into the art, I like it less and less. There's some cool pieces. Like this bear is dope. He looks like this bear looks like the bear from League of Legends. It's okay. I like this oil painted style a little bit more. So I'm going to scroll through and we're going to look through the art. We're going to look at the main pieces. We're going to get a general feel. So I am not reading this all on screen. And I am not making a character live. I see what it is and it's okay. It's okay. It is not displayed in a way that makes me think I could convince my party to play this overall. This is analysis paralysis. Oh, you like the ability layout a lot? I disagree. 100%. I'm not saying they're poorly laid out. I'm saying it is fucking boring to read. Boring to read. It really, like, I don't get excitement out of going, oh, let's 11, what's level 11 discipline? 11 discipline? Choose one of the abilities which costs 11 discipline to use. 11 discipline. Well, these gotta be powerful. Now I'm tracking points to use abilities. Like, only thing that they changed is instead of saying at will, an encounter, and a daily, and at will you can do whenever you want. Encounter, each one can be used 4 times, and they have check marks on the boxes so you can check as you use them. And the daily is once a day. They're like, no, you got more freedom. But hey, track these points. Track these points on casting your magic for every class. And this is what I played in the beta. Was this. I played the Shadow, and I liked some of it. And then I just got so tired of looking at the abilities, trying to be tactically sound. Everything's in combat. Like, I immediately got alt-itis, because I feel like I couldn't really do that much. Because, like, if you look at the class, signature ability, signature ability, signature ability, signature ability, signature ability, and then you get college of abilities. At level 2, you get 5. No. I would rather play a video game, Nick. I would 100% rather play a video game. And I get it. As a player, making this kind of stuff is fun. Sitting down, grinding, crunching, plumbing a system. Todd loves Pathfinder for that reason. And Drew, to an extent, too. They love plumbing the system to make your character. But when I see these options, I feel, and it sounds weird, I feel limited. That my creativeness is stifled by not having the power necessary to do some things. I feel stifling. And I don't enjoy crunching through this. Now, as a GM, I dislike it even more. Because now I got to understand everything that these fucking classes do. Everything. To be able to appropriately make good encounters for them. So now I got to read through all the classes and really plumb through all of them. I almost have to have system mastery higher than the players on a mechanical level. I don't say you have to. Look, I can improv my way through anything. But this is a lot of stuff. It's a lot. And it doesn't, like, look at this. There's nothing, what the fuck is this? Why? Why is this area absolutely barren? Why? Because everything is defined in this game, Nick. That's what I mean. Everything has a definition. Everything has a condition. Everything has an answer. Everything has a term. It is crunch and munch. It's all crunchy. I think they really cleaned it up and made it simple and made the math behind it fairly simple. But I don't think this is an easier game than Daggerheart. I sure shit think the character crafting in Daggerheart is more fluid and how you make a character. But now you're writing these abilities down for every single thing that you get. It's just odd, man. It's just odd. I like the 2d10. But overall, I would say this is a great game for people who want a good amount of options for the class right out of the gate without having bonus books, that like resource management for their powers, more so than just slots per day, which I'm fine with, but points to spend. Really like grid-based combat for tactics. I don't want to say a miniature game, because it's not a miniature game, but if you loved Baldur's Gate and you want that experience in a tabletop, this is it. This is that game. This is Baldur's Gate, the tabletop game. It's very clean. It's easy to understand. But this is very boring to look at. Very boring. I like the different classes. This is not impressive to me. And I haven't looked at the monster book. I probably would really like the monster book. I think the options there are probably really fun. I agree, Nick. I think if you had the ability cards and stuff, it might help some. It might. It might do that. But like, if I go to any trait in here, panic in their lines. This reminds me of the commander or the tactician in 4th edition. Confuse your foes, causing them to turn against one another. Melee, range, strike, and weapon. So it's melee or range or strike or a weapon. Melee 1 or range 5. Power roll plus might. So 2d10 plus your might bonus. Damage, slide 1. Damage, slide 3. Damage, slide 5. If the target is forced to move into another creature, it must make an attack. So now you're flinging monsters at other monsters and they're punching each other. Okay. It's cool. It's cool. I like that it only lasts 3 to 5 rounds for combat. I'm impressed by that. I think that's super cool. But this is... There are some core mechanics in here I like, but overall, I am not seeing what I want. Yeah, it sounds cool. But it's tactical combat. It's made to be a miniatures game. I'm sorry, it's a fucking miniatures game. I was trying not to say it, but it is. It's a mini game. It's a miniatures game. Just say it. Just fucking say it. It is. It sounds cool. It's not 4E trauma. It's the same problems I had with 4E when I started playing it. It is a video game. It's a simulationist video game. It is a miniatures tactical game. It's chainmail, for fuck's sake. It's chainmail. If we're going to like relate it to D&D. And they tell you to throw all of your previous things out for your D20 fantasy systems. I would if you didn't clone and polish the turd that was 4th edition. And that's what it is. So what is a kit? Knight is the shining armor, warrior priest, the sniper, the sensors, the furies, the shadows. Okay. Double use. Kit combines weapons, armor, fighting techniques. So this is like your starting kit for the gear that you get. Cool. I like that. That makes the characters a lot simpler. Like trying to pick your kit instead of reading through this diatribe. Oh my God. You're fucking kidding me. your equipment has the same stat blocks as your powers. Now, this is 4th edition didn't even do this to you. Those who want a pole arm equipment. So now your ability is this, and here's your damage. And at this point, couldn't you just put 4, 7, 9? I mean, fuck, like, why do you need to waste space with this? Like, at this point, couldn't you just do T1, 2, 3? We all know you don't need to tell me this every time. This is so fucking repetitious. We've already been trained that is what this is. We know that the 3 tiers are 11, 12 to 16, and 17 plus. I haven't played the fucking game and I know this. Why the fuck are you doing this every time? Why? Whatever. I'm scrolling. How does a weapon look? So these are the kits. Never mind, this isn't gear. Art. Okay. Perks. What are perks? Maybe this is kind of fun. Crafting perks, exploration perks, interpersonal perks, intrigue perks, lore perks, supernatural perks. I hope this gets turned into a video game. I hope Draw Steel just becomes a video game, because I would probably enjoy that. I hope this is their manifesto to make a video game. That's what this should be. This would be amazing as a video game. Amazing. It's not as a tabletop RPG. It's a lore. That art's hilarious. I do like some of this art. I love the map. The map was my favorite thing so far. So complications, benefit, and a drawback. Modify the story. Choose a complication. So this lets you flavor your character a little bit. I like the random table. Amnesia, everything has it. Supernatural, you have a supernatural possession. A first echelon trinket of your choice. Okay. Cool. Yeah, like a Hellboy or a Ghostbusters puppy. Oh my god. Oh, this is just word salad. I have never wanted to take a nap more. I like the art. I like the carvings on them and shit. The mix of sci-fi. That's cool. These are your tests. Solve a task typically require a test. Clever outside of the box thinking. Director can instead just say it works. Okay, cool. So easy, medium, hard tests. So this is kind of like the controlled, risky, and desperate feel of Blades. Okay. Cool. I mean, that's nice. This needs to be on a GM screen. People will never remember this properly. This is a very important piece here. It's going to get fucked up a lot. You know what I mean? Okay. I'm curious to see what their DM screen looks like. Since they have to put this shit everywhere. I wonder what their DM screen looks like. I'll have to find that. How long does it take? So they're talking time. That's great. Okay, skills. Here we go. +2 bonus skill that isn't an edge. Player can make a test that has both a +2 bonus for the skill and a +2 bonus for the edge. So skills are just a +2. So they don't give you an edge. Huh. No, Nick, I'm not. First off, I'm not hating on the page. I'm saying that has to be in a GM screen. I'm hating on the fact that you are repetitiously giving me the information you've already taught me. So when you, in writing, write something and then you teach them the abbreviation, you should just use the abbreviation. This isn't an abbreviation. This is the same poor iconography over and over again that I know these are going to get sold in a power pack, which is fine, with all your things on them. But it's such a waste of space. You and I have worked on designing stat blocks to be more compact and more readable and make more sense. But this repeatedly through the book doesn't feel good to read. I don't give a shit why they're doing it. But if looking through it makes you go, it could just say T1, T2, T3. They taught us that they are tiers of success. You don't need the numbers there every time. Those could have been side by side, compressing this book down. Because it takes so much space to stack them like that every time when they might be able to just be side by side. Because some of them are just damage. That's my point. It is very repetitious in a way that isn't enjoyable to read. I don't feel. And if I don't feel that it is fun to read, as the person reading the book, that means your message to me is wrong. It's like branding. When you brand something, you make a branding message and you give it to the audience. And if they don't say back what your message was, you fucked up. Your brand is wrong. That's how I feel about this layout. This layout screams too much of something that was not good back in the day. And they keep doing it. They keep doing it. I like this stuff. There's a lot of good in here. There are good pieces. But anytime we get to like the powers and abilities, I see the 4E just with a new coat of paint. It's 4E with coat of paint. And he said that it's 4E. He loves 4E. So that is where it comes from. The core mechanic is good. The 2D10 with the 3 tiers of success, always moving forward, is good. I like that. I like that the damage is there, built in, that you're always doing damage and moving forward. I like that. The skill challenges, it gets a little murky there because they're having to add the 3-tier system for like, how hard is it? But you have to. You have to add something there. I wish the table was a little better presented. I think that was a little weird. Like this here, this is probably one of the hardest things to do in a game. Hiding. And to teach me hiding, it is 1, 2, 3, 2. We'll say 2 pages. One to take the art away. Probably 1 page. That's pretty good. You're teaching hiding in it. It's one of the more complex things to do it. To me, just, you don't roll till it matters. That's it. Speed is half when you're sneaking, all that stuff standard. Group tests. So right here, he brought this back. So he brought back the group test. This is one of the things that was important from 4th edition, which is the skill challenges that we've seen in every edition since 4th edition, because it was a good design. Same with ritual magic. Montage test. I love this. I think this is great. Can't use the same skill twice. This is from 4th. New challenges each touch. 4th. I like that. That's good. That's solid. Those are one of the good things. And everyone has agreed on that. Like almost every GM's like, skill challenges with a few tweaks are really nice. Blade Runner did a really good job with it. I like the montage chess. Yeah. 5, 5 of 5, 6 of 4, 7 of 3. 5 of 5 is you got 10 chances essentially to try to be successful. Moderate is 6 before 4. Hard is 7 before 3. This, One of the good things of 4th edition. Yep. 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 Okay. Combat. Set the map. We're starting with it. Teaching you to set your miniature battle table. And then they break down squares for different measurements across the globe. Smart play. Creature sizes. 1L. Con. I don't think this doesn't really help me. I guess they're between a human and an ogre, I guess. I don't know. And then we're right back into it. Right back into it. This is a VTT. You're right. Nick, you're definitely right. This is made for a VTT. How many pages is this? I'm just curious. Starts on what? 265. We're just going to scroll. 265. Shifting. That's like your 5-foot movement. And then like climb, swim, your crawls, your teleport, your jump, your falling. These are all your actions. Difficult terrain. High ground, higher ground. Okay, now they're explaining how that works. Crunchy, crunchy, crunch. Pushing people. How you can move them. There's a lot of abilities to push them. Push is a straight direction. Slide lets you change the direction. Okay. Vertical slides. Riding. Hiding. Not hidden. Hidden because of height. They're really explaining it all to make sure that everyone's on the same page, so we're playing the same game. Free strikes, opportune attacks, standard free strikes, granted abilities. So there's different version of free strikes. Flanking and cover. Concealment. Cool. Stamina is essentially your hit points, isn't it? If I remember correctly. Yeah. And then they took the right here, this is your 3 categories of your bleeding, like what is it? Blooded and dying, like that whole thing. That's been a part of since 4th edition. Everyone still uses that terminology. Oh, what are you doing while bleeding? Oh shit. Even Numenera and Cypher have something similar. They're called different stuff, but same thing. Mounted combat. Superhero fight. Literally a superhero fight. They look like superheroes. Except for this guy. He's a villain, obviously. Great. Negotiation. How to negotiation. Pitfalls. Cool. So it's like 20 pages roughly of combat stuff. That's not horrible. Vengeance. Open negotiation. How to do negotiation. Oh, just text. Airship. This is cool looking. They brought downtime projects in. That makes me happy. You track them and bring them in. Project roles. That's cool. Awesome. I've seen this art for something else with them. I feel like this one might have came from another book. I feel like I've seen this art from them before. I remember because it felt like not jarring, but not fitting to what I was reading. All your enhancements. This is a video game. Video game. Ooh, crafting. This is cool. I like this. Events. Let's just see what one is. 27. Before the roll, the project source is found to hold additional information, letting the hero treat the project roll as an automatic breakthrough. The note could have been left by a helpful visitor or by someone who wants the hero's work to finish their own game. This is this is amazing. This should be in more games. That makes crafting feel more impactful and part of the story than just like, I made something. Very cool. I love this. Someone's making a golem. Hey, David. How you doing, buddy? David the gnome. You doing well? David's brother. You doing well? Pretty good. Still scrolling. Yeah, there she is again. Weird, just weird. I don't know. It's just weird. Yep. Yep. Okay. Rewards. How to do rewards. Treasure. Found, earned, crafted. Echelon consumables. Echelons are their tiers, remember? Little art. Hilarious. Imp's tongue. That's creepy looking. I like that. Their stat blocks for their gear. Pretty normal. We're going to fucking fast forward through these, though. This is going to be a lot. I can feel it. I like this mask. That's weird. Evilest eye. Not the normal eye. The evilest of eyes. King Roar shield. Cool. Eye. Ooh. Some of these weapons are nice. I love this. This is cool looking. Blade of Crescendus. Thunder. Okay, cool. Excellent. Some fun stuff. That's cool looking. Blade of 1,000 Years. Wild. That is wild looking. Titles. You can gain titles. All right. And they have echelons too. So you get like Ancient Lore Master, a Battle Axe Diplomat, a City Rat. That's kind of cool. They give you some like, there's a prerequisite and the effect, you get a bonus. I dig that. Also just boring to read. Pretty cool though. Holy shit. All right, what do you got here? Wealth. So do they not do coins in this game? They did wealth scores like D20 Modern. I had a really hard time making wealth scores work in D20 Modern. Maybe they did a better job with it. It was difficult to do. Because they had to go up and down. You had to make checks to do something. It was just odd. Because it was supposed to be kind of like an arbitrary amount of wealth. That was one of the hardest things. I didn't hate it. It just was hard to get the players' heads to wrap around it. Conduits and sensors. So like your deities. Still scrolling. Okay, so all your gods, they did the stained glass look for them. That's, wow. Hello, fucking psycho. No offense. This guy's a vampire. Cool old medieval, you know, like, oh, we're playing around table. It's kind of cool. And then the director's section. 373. Campaign pitch, going through it, category, house rules and development. Echelon outline. So you're doing this per echelon. There is no shopping episodes, technically, yeah. It's true. Yeah, wealth scores, though, you had to make checks, though, in Modern. I don't know if you had to do that in this, but like if your score was a 13 and you wanted to buy something that was a 15, you had to make a roll. But if it was 13 or lower, you could buy it. And you could do it so many times a month. These echelons, these are the tiers from, was it Paragon and all those tiers from 4th edition? Villains, creating NPCs. Cool. Yeah, I like that they're using the same characters, kind of like iconic representation. Hazards, deadliness, 755, 975. So these are the task levels. Oh, hazards and triggers. I see. It's the damage based on how bad they roll or how bad. Okay, I got it. Negotiations. All right. Great. Negotiators. So that's like their terminology. Like in 4th edition, you had like your tank, your commander, your talker. So they kind of kept that kind of stuff again from 4th edition. I can't believe someone decided to remake 4th edition. I just can't. I just don't understand why you would do it. I just don't fucking get it. It was just so poorly taken. Like, do you think now is its time? You think that Crunch and Munch is coming back and you needed to make 4th edition again? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Track the fugitive. So that's cool. They give you like little set pieces that you can run. Smart. I actually like that. It's really cool. Respites. Is that how resting? When hero decides to take respite, yeah, so that's the healing thing to get like your powers back to do stuff. That's cool. Scroll dress. Huh. Alright. Player suggestions, house rules, making heroes, burning the city to the ground. Life's like a movie. Write your own ending. Keep believing. Keep pretending. We did just what we set out to do. Thanks to our lovers and dreamers and you. Kermit T. Frog. Aww. Aww. That's adorable. And then the creator license. One sheet. Smart. And we're through it. Look, I want to give this more time, but my first glance, my quick review, is this is made for players. This is made for players to enjoy and crunch and make characters like Mutants and Masterminds, like 4th edition. And that's awesome. There's not a lot in here for the DM. Now, with that said, there is an entire second book for Draw Steel, which is all of the monsters. And that book is 385 pages of monsters. And I'm sure I would enjoy this more as a GM. That is our bread and butter. It is the monsters of this stuff. But I don't feel like this game does anything for me right now. If I wanted to play this game, I would just have kept playing 4th edition. There's no ideas in here that are more modern, short of their dice roll system. And their dice roll system, they just divided a d20 into 2d10 to give you better averages and to create those 3 degrees of move forward. I think the core mechanic's solid. I even think the edge and the double edge is a really good idea, where it's a +2 or you're moving in a tier up. It does what a lot of the feats in Pathfinder do. But those were the same problems I had in Pathfinder. I felt like by you hit 10th level, by the time you got it, you would have so many abilities that would just turn critical failures into failures and failures into successes. And successes into critical successes. That it felt like that the die didn't matter anymore. This is a tactical combat game. They're not hiding it. We read it in the beginning. I read that on purpose. It is heroic fantasy with, I say, cinematic tactics. It only lasts 3 to 5 rounds. That's awesome. I would love to play a combat. I think that I would have to do that justice. But this game is just not for me. It's definitely not for me. I think this reads like a textbook. It doesn't make me feel like I'm playing a tabletop RPG. So far in this, and that GM section was okay, I don't think it was really helping a GM be a better GM. This was more like a mechanical language so that we could play a video game on a table. I don't think this will go into my rotation. I'm going to try to give it a shot when I go to Gamehole Con. I prefer Daggerheart to this. mostly because it is giving you narrative in the dice rolls. And this does a little bit, but almost all of their powers are combat powers. Going through them are all damages that provide a condition at the beginning of the book. Like, the entire beginning of this book is conditional. It's just conditions. And they're the things that you do. And this is the problem I was running into with PF2 even, where there was so many conditions that you had to track 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s for, that it just, as a GM, wasn't enjoyable. I'm sad to see tabletop RPGs go back to this format. Personally, I enjoyed what indie, and again, I do believe that your tabletop journey changes. God, it sounds so religious. I think that the games that you play as you grow into your hobby, what you want changes. And I always relate it back to like RC cars and what RC people do. You may start driving a car, but eventually you want a plane. And after a plane, you want a helicopter. Right? And I think that the tabletop RPG scene is very similar, where you want one thing when you start, and D&D is it, for example. And then you play this little indie game, and that brings some mechanics into like how you like to run a game. This game system doesn't give me anything that I either haven't played or presenting it in a way that I'm really excited about. While I think this core mechanic is fun, I would rather just play Blades. Blades in the Dark has this, but they give you narrative flexibility. This feels stringent and strict in its choices and what it does. And this is first opinion. This is just a glance opinion. This isn't a final opinion. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's precise. It is laid out clean. It has got options. And it is a big book and a lot out of the gate. I think if you want a crunchy game that is tactical, this is good. This is a really good system for you. And a tactical combat and miniatures and moving things around, I'm going to go play one of my mini miniature games. I'm going to go play 40K, Battletech, Warhammer, Into the Void. I'm going to go play those games to have that tactical combat. This is not for me right now. If you're looking for a tactical RPG and you want to have a really simulationist experience, this is a great system. I do believe that. I trust the team. I like their other books. I have all of their books. But as soon as I heard this was 4th edition, I dropped my back in. And when I did the play test, I dropped my backing because of it. I would rather be playing Shadowdark. I would rather be playing Daggerheart. I like the narrative action of Daggerheart. I actually enjoy the spotlight movement of the fear and the hope and that a lot, and how it moves it back and forth in the narrative. This isn't for me. I hope it's for you, though. I hope if you're watching this later and you were looking for a tactical RPG, I hope this sings to you. I want this to have its place in the tabletop echelon. I want it to be something that does well in the industry so people can keep making crunchy games and people can enjoy them if that's what you want. But man, dude, you just put a tutu on 4th edition. That's all you did. You gave it an Armani suit. Thinking out loud, I would actually really love to see this as a, God, you know what? This might be the answer. I would love a Shadowrun style game using this. That crunchiness, I think, would make a really fun Shadowrun style game. That's what I would like to see. But for now, this isn't it. This isn't what I want. It's just not it. I hope somebody comes in the chat. If you're watching this afterwards, down below, tell me what it's been like if you're playing this game. What is your experience? I know this is very young. It's only 13 days old. launched wise. Tell me what you enjoy, why you're playing it, where it makes you happy. Maybe there's something I'm missing in this. If I ever run this, I'm going to go get a bunch of pre-gens. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to run it with the pre-gens and see if it works. I'll be at Gamehole Con. If you see me at Gamehole Con and you want to run me through this, hit me up. I would like to give it a try. I'm just not going to study this game to run it myself. I'm just not. I don't think it would be good. But with that said, everybody, I want to thank our patrons, Patreon, all my toe tags that have been supporting what I do, helping me make things, are there in the chat, talking about what we make, playing the games I put out. And to me, I think this could be a game that, if enough people ask, maybe I'll run it for them. But I have a lot more coming out. Warpaint is right now into production, along with Magic and Monsters for Daggerheart. I'm putting out a framework for that. I've been working on that heavily over the last couple of weeks. And last night I got to play my first Final Girl game. I'll be talking more about that on the next Corpse Talk Live. I'll be back this Friday. I think we're going to be doing a little game. I feel like we need to play something. I don't know what we're going to do yet. Maybe it'll be Final Girl. Or maybe we'll run some Breachers in Shadow Dark with our lovely cartographer and our berserker. That's it for me today. I'm going to head out. I got to go pick somebody up at the airport. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of Draw Steel. Is this something you're going to be playing? Or are you all done with it? For me, I'll be skipping out on this one for now. I haven't said that in a long time, but it's just not the game for me right now. So, thank you so much for coming along. We'll put on some Corpse Mother here to end it out. And listen to her. She knows what I need. If you're watching this afterwards, there's going to be something to click over here for you to probably subscribe to the channel. There's going to be one over on this side, probably a video to watch. There's so many things on this channel now. I think we hit over 500 videos. And if you want to support, subscribe to the channel. Follow my Patreon. All those links are down here. In the words of Matt Colville and the doobly-doo. And mine, down on the slab here, you'll find all the ways that you can help support the channel. I'm going to go get some food, drink some more iced coffee out of my skull. I'll see you guys all on Friday, creeps. Stay fucking rotten.